Auston Matthews is reportedly going to be named the new captain of the Toronto Maple Leafs. TSN's Darren Dreger reporting that Matthews will take over the seat from John Tavares. It's going to be all made official tomorrow morning at a news conference around 11 o'clock. Let's get his take, though, this morning. TSN Radio's Matt Cause joins us to talk about this.
Yeah.
This is kind of like 2.0 because Matthews, before Tavares was getting the captaincy, was sort of in the running. Didn't get it then. Why do you think now is more appropriate for Matthews?
I think it's more appropriate because he's 27 years old. Remember the last time when Tavares was named the captain, that was when Matthews was in trouble with disorderly conduct back at his home in Arizona. Well, now he's a lot more grown up. Also, he signed the new long-term contract. He's the best player on the team. And we've seen from Ovechkin and Connor McDavid, often the best player is the captain. So this does seem to make sense for the timing and for the individual.
How much of a difference does a captain really make to a team? I mean, I think a lot of people looked at John Tavares' career. He came in, he obviously a very talented player.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been able to sort of rally the team to go, well, beyond really the second round of the playoffs.
And that was only once. Actually, it was Tavares who scored the game winner in Game 6 against Tampa a couple of years ago. I think they just needed to shake things up. And I know that sounds like a cliche, but they can only do so much with personnel, as we've seen. They're pretty much running it back. They brought in a new coach, and what you're hoping for is that, that this does do something for the locker room dynamic. I was wondering, would this make more of a buy-in for Matthews? But let's face it, Matthews is fully bought in. When you score all those goals and you're one of the best players defensively, clearly the commitment is there. We still haven't seen it, obviously, in the playoffs, but this feels like it was a time for a change. And also what I appreciate is, unlike in some parts of the world where there's often not a smooth transition of power from one to the other, in this one there is. There hasn't seemed to be any controversy with Tavares. It doesn't seem to be awkward or weird. And I give Tavares a lot of credit for that. He's in the last year of his deal. He realizes it's time for a change. And by all accounts, he was part of this decision.
Yeah, it'd be strange if they didn't bring him in on that decision, and it's appropriate. And he's a classy guy, so that doesn't surprise me at all. What do you want to hear from Auston Matthews tomorrow at the news conference?
Ooh, that's a good question, because normally there really isn't much. Mostly it's just empty calories, word salad, things like that. I think I'm just, you know what? Honestly, there's nothing. There's really nothing he can say, because it still comes down to the playoffs. And I hate saying that because it's a broken record.
True. We know they're going to make it.
But it's a broken record for a reason. So maybe just an acknowledgement of disappointment, an acknowledgement of, listen, I know it might not seem like we care, but we do. And we are so angry about what's happened in the postseason. And beyond that, we're embarrassed. All this talent, and we haven't got it done. If there's some sort of acknowledgement, self-awareness of postseason woes, that's really about it. And it's not to take anything away from him. Congratulations to Matthews. It's well-deserved for him.
What are you thinking in terms of who gets the A's now?
I think the A's, Morgan Riley makes a lot of sense. He's been there the longest. And I think Tavares. He certainly can keep having the assistant one. This is one of those cases, like I think it was Blake Wheeler with the Winnipeg Jets, where he was surprised when the captaincy was taken away from him. The problem is it's the word stripped. When you get something stripped away from you, it seems embarrassing. But in this case, it doesn't seem anything like that at all.
Okay, appreciate this, Matt. Have a great show this afternoon on TSN Radio 1050, and we'll see what happens tomorrow morning and see what words do come out of Auston Matthews and the team brass's mouth. Okay, always good to chat. Thanks.
Absolutely.